Hey YouTube, it's me Robin, and I wanted to come back to you. And first off, I want to apologize to you for the way I ended my earlier video. I was, taken back to a place that wasn't, when I tell my story, when, I'm used to telling my story. I'm not used to really feeling when I tell my story. So that was, um, that was definitely different. So again, I apologize to you. Um, what else? I wanted to come to you and just follow up and let you know, there are there are so many resources available for people in situations where they're dealing with abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult. Um, I know there's a hotline, 800-621-HOPE, and that's for like women who are being abused. You're a child. I suggest you tell somebody, and if it doesn't work by telling them, you tell somebody else, and you tell somebody else, because the reality is that the worst that can happen is already happening. It it's not gonna get any worse than that. It you've already you've already dealt with that. You're already dealing with that. It's already as bad as it's gonna get. And I know, you know, sometimes there are threats, and you tell this is going to happen, or that's going to happen, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. But more often than not, those are just threats. You know, if one person doesn't listen, and tell another, and tell another, and tell another, and tell another, until somebody listens, until somebody does something. You don't, you don't deserve this. There's nothing that you could have done differently. There's, you don't deserve this. This is not your fault, and you're not protecting anybody by not saying anything. And you're not going to save your family by not saying anything, or any of the other lies that people tell you when you're attempting to steal something from you sexually. So tell. The best thing I can tell you to do is tell. It's tell, because what happened to me is the first time I remember it happening, I didn't tell. And I didn't tell because I was in an abusive house, and nobody in my house liked me, and my mom liked to pit my sisters against me, and so I didn't have anybody. And so when I started, and it started off, I was just being molested. I was just being touched. When the touching led to rape, I never said anything. I never said anything because, not because I was scared, but because nobody liked me. Nobody likes me in my house, and I thought that if I if I told it, then he wasn't gonna like me at that point either. He wouldn't. He only ever liked me when he was doing something to me. So I thought he wouldn't like me then either. And then I would never have anybody. No one would ever love me. And really, I was so young. I was so young. At that point, I had to be like 5, 6 years old. Scared. Scared that that I wouldn't be loved, so I let him keep hurting me. I never told. It wasn't until he tried to do it to my sister, she told, that he got caught. Yeah, I was able to tell. But it went on too long, you know. If I had told, it would have stopped, but I didn't. And I know I didn't know any better. I know I was very young, and I know it went on for a few years, and I don't want that for anybody else, you know? Tell. Don't worry about anything else. Just tell, and you keep telling, and you keep telling, and you keep telling, because when I was younger and I was being abused in my house, you know, my mom was abusive, and I remember going to school and telling my principal, and my principal called my mom, and she came up to the school, and she was so nice, and she's so smart, and everybody just loved her, and so she just said, "Oh, you know, she's just going through something, and she's a teenager." My principal believed it, so I didn't say anything, and I just kept being abused. Then once I became an adult, and I look at all the people around me, when they found out what was going on in my house, you know what they all said? I mean, everybody said it. If you had just told me, if you had just told me, I would have taken care of that. If you had just told me, I would have gotten you out of that house. If you had just told me, I mean, this is people's parents telling me this is if I had just told. Please tell. I wish I would have, but that wasn't. I didn't know. So in order to extend myself to you, you send me a message here. You can send me a message through YouTube. You can do whatever. I'm here the best way I can be. But you gotta tell somebody. Okay? I love you. I love you. And I'll see you next time.